Hey, what's happening, everybody? I just want to let you know that a few years back, Mike Tomlin, he proclaimed the Steelers would unleash hell in the month of December. Well, hell, that didn't happen. But the OSP, with the help of my crew right here, are going to do our best to bring you a plethora of facts and opinions on college and pro football, current events and sports, and we're going to unleash our own hell to start the month of December. So thanks for joining us tonight. We're excited to see you.
National Streaming Sports is brought to you in part by BetUs.com, designed for true fans. NFL odds, Week 1 and futures, college football odds, including Heisman Trophy favorites and playoff odds, NBA odds of division winners and playoffs, Major League Baseball playoff and World Series odds, the National Hockey League Conference playoffs and Stanley Cup odds, and boxing wagers. Betting opportunities include versus the spreads and outright winners, also during the game. Use our link on our website, nessp.info, the Bet Us Opportunities webpage, for a 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits. Must be 21 years old, and remember, bet responsibly.
You're going to call anyone that loves you. You're going to ask them if you can use their card to buy concert tickets because your card's maxed out. Okay. If they say yes, you get the tickets.
I can't call my parents because they already think I make bad financial decisions. Well, so I think I'll call one of my friends.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous. I feel tingly.
What's your not answer?
Giovanna?
Yes.
I was on SeatGeek earlier and I saw 2 tickets for Olivia Rodrigo at a really, really, really good price. So
Oh my god.
I maxed my credit card out by accident last week. Do you think I could use yours to buy the tickets?
Oh my god, yes.
Did I what?
Yeah, you got the tickets. You got the tickets.
I just want tickets. We're going to go to the concert together. Giovanna, I'll call you later. Love you. Thanks for picking up. Oh my god. I'm going to see Olivia Rodrigo.
Yes, thank you, SeatGeek.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world, it's time to experience the O's on the Original Sports Podcast.
Hey, fellas, how you doing tonight? It's a happy Tuesday in December. First Tuesday in December, December 3rd, 2024. Never thought I'd live to see 2024, but here I am, huh?
Man, it's crazy times.
It is crazy times. It is crazy times. Back in the day, Watson and I might be at like a football banquet or something on this kind of night.
Hopefully, it'll be that late. That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of great football happened this past weekend, fellas. Then you got this weekend coming up. You've got some good stuff going on between at the college level with, you know, the championship games, and at the pro level, you've got some rematches going on. Hey, did you guys hear CMC got put back on the IR? He's done.
Yes. Yeah.
Either of you have him on a fantasy league?
No, I wasn't. I didn't even do any fantasies this year. First time in a minute. I didn't even do any fantasies.
I had him in two or three leagues. He killed me. Absolutely killed me.
Yeah.
Do you have him in which one do you have? Do you have him in this one?
Oh yeah, I got him in ours. Yep, 100%.
Oh, okay.
Man.
Okay, good.
Yep. I mean, I've been losing. I win 1, lose 2, win 2, lose 3. Like it's been ugly. It's been ugly. I did manage to go out and get myself another running back though to try and supplement my guys. I kept Nick Chubb. Around. I still think the way Jameis Winston's playing.
Stefanski knew how to use him. He'd get you numbers. Stefanski didn't know how to use them.
Well, I think with Jameis Wilson putting up numbers, throwing the ball, it's going to open up him running again, to be honest with you. But last week, he split carries with what's his name, Jerome Hill. Is that what it is? Yeah, with Jerome
Ford.
Jerome Ford, that's right. I'm thinking Justice Hill. With Jerome Ford, he split carries with him, and the only difference is he had that touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown. So it is what it is. I mean, you can't do nothing about it. But, man, you should have seen somebody told me, you better look at the writing on the wall with CMC. you better look at the writing on the wall. And I was like, come on, no way. But, I had this argument with somebody at the beginning of the year. I was like, that dude gets hurt every other year.
True.
And,
Yeah.
And he just signed a big, fat payday. Like I don't know. Well, I know when we get to our stuff with the NFL, we will talk a little about the Steelers, and I have some thoughts on their running game. But let's start out with this, fellas. Love this little piece that someone put in here of if the NCAA decides, hey, let's go to 16 teams like D2 and D3. Do they keep or get rid of conference championship games? What do you think? Do they make a difference anymore?
I think I think it might be an interesting question. One, because now you're also increasing the number of games that they're going to be playing in college if you do that. And then does it become a disadvantage to the teams that have to play in that conference championship with that extra game where you're talking about, maybe possibility of some of your top players getting hurt? But it is something, I think to think about, do we play that if they go to 16? Because I have a feeling that the way this thing is going, it's going to go to 16. And I say that because there's going to probably be teams that get left out that probably should be in. And I think the NCAA is going to look at that and make that adjustment, as I was saying last week, and eventually get to that 16. It might not be next year, it might be, 3 years down the road, but I think they eventually go to that.
How many years have we only had 4 teams in it?
When did it start? When did that start?
Not that long ago. 5 years? 6 years?
Yeah.
It's been longer than that, hasn't it? Because Jameis Winston was Winston in it,
right?
The 14. I think, man, I'd have to look that up.
Yeah. Well, you could
I don't know off the top.
I did hear that 16 was the ultimate goal. It really was. I do think they'll keep those conference championships. You know why, Kevin? Money.
Why is that?
From 99 to 2014.
I can see that.
Oh, okay.
From 99 to 2014.
Okay.
And honestly, fellas, I think they should do away with if you go to 16, do away with the conference championships. Reason being is some of these guys are in tough conferences and they're losing, and it could be held against them or knock them down a seed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my thing would be let's go with the SEC, right? You make it to where all the teams, like this year, Texas, they should have played Bama, LSU, Georgia. All those big dogs should have played each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're still going to have SEC West, SEC East, great. Then it's going to come down to strength of schedule. If you say we happen to tie, right? I'm SEC East. What? You're SEC West. We tie in conference. Then it comes down to strength of schedule. Then it comes down to points scored for, points against. Somebody's going to be ticked off. However, you don't play that extra game, which, again, like you said, Watson, more chance of an injury. And now you take a loss. Now we're out, or we get a lower seed. I don't think, and you're right, Mark. That game does it does bring money if they had those championship games. But if you figure if something was done, like even we talked about it this year, so I think some good teams are getting left out, and we'll get into it. But if those good teams are getting out, I think now, man, if they went to 16 teams, every playoff game is damn near like a bowl game. We don't even watch the poinsettia bowl.
Yes.
I don't. You know what I mean? So
no,
they really could be, man. They really could be. And you guys are probably looking at it harder than I would. What do you think sponsors would pay for those commercials now? You know what I mean? I think
money.
That's
where you make up for that conference championship.
Well, you're not getting,
you make it up at.
You're not getting to the Super Bowl stratosphere, but you're getting close.
You're right. Hold on, Mark. You're right, Barber. But Super Bowl is one game. When you add up all the playoff games, now you're making a substantial amount, a substantial chunk. Still not going to be Super Bowl type. I get you. I'm feeling you on that. But it could be something, man. But I'd love to see him get away from the conference championships, only because Like you said, what people are going to get hurt. Somebody could get left out or done dirty. That's the only reason. I mean, I love to watch the games.
Go back to last year, Florida State. The quarterback gets hurt. They don't even make the playoffs. That's so why play it? You want the best people in, the best teams in. I think with a 16-team squad, I think you're going to get the best. And then, like you said, also the money is going to be there.
Okay. Watt just said he thinks we'll get the best. Piggybacking off that, let's see how many of these guys that we know are bona fide first rounders. Let's see how many sit out of these bowl games, knowing there's a chance to win the national championship. And I'm only saying that because the injury risk doesn't go up or decrease whether you're playing for the national championship or the Poinsettia Bowl. But the fact that, you know what I mean? So, because I never liked when guys sat out. I didn't like it.
I don't like it either. I don't like it.
So I do want to keep an eye on that. How many of these guys ride it out until the very last game? How many of these guys sit out of the playoffs from the entire jump? I want to see that.
Now, Matt, when you say you don't like it, my reason is it shows a lack of character in the guy.
Yes.
He's thinking about himself. He's not a team player. And that's a huge red flag to me. Watson, I know it is to you because you and I coached together forever. We coach alike, okay? We were good cop, bad cop, but we coach alike, all right? Chops, why do you not like it when they sit out?
I'll take it even further because I think it's selfish, and here's why. But also I look at this. If we're in a game and we're driving, we're inside the opponent's 5, and I do something dumb, get a personal foul, first thing the announcer will say is, that's a selfish play. Think about your team. Because all I did was drop you back 15 yards, but we still got football to play. But they never say that about a guy who sits out. And you're only sitting out if you're a starter and a huge contributor to that team. So I think that is the ultimate sign of selfishness, where you rock with these guys the entire year. Now when they need you and want you the most, we got a bowl, we like to win a bowl game, help recruiting, this, that, and the third, you dip. And it also makes me wonder, we always hear guys say it's about the name on the front of the jersey, not the name on the back of the jersey.
Bullshit.
Well, it can't be both if you're sitting out of a bowl game. You know what I'm saying?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I hate it. I think that's more, because if you do something to get a 15-yard penalty, you're an idiot. But we're all emotional at times. We're all emotional. You just got lost in the moment. You got to be better, but you got lost in the moment. When you choose to sit out, you thought about that. You made a calculated risk, and you still chose to do us that way. That's why I hate it.
You chose you.
Yes.
You chose you. Guess what? The university chose you, gave you a scholarship to come there and play football. Give you other opportunities. So what you're doing is you're letting a lot of people down. I think when these guys sit out like that, fellas, I think in some way, shape, or form, they should have to be fined.
Yes.
In some way, shape, or form. I don't agree with it. People can contest what we're saying, but we're all on the same page with that. And I just think it's wrong. I think your motives are to get to the NFL if you're that good. But, it's like the combine. How many of these guys, like, what's his name? Harrison Jr. last year. He didn't run anywhere. He didn't run it. He didn't run at his college. He didn't run at Ohio State. He didn't run at the combine. They saw what I could do on film.
Fellas, let me ask you something. If you can think about this, both of you. The only player we know that got hurt in a bowl game that really got hurt was Willis McGahee.
Yeah.
Years ago. And he still got drafted first round. Now, he didn't heal up, and we believe his career never was what it could have been because of the injury. I don't know. However, advancements in medicine is so much further than it was years ago, right? So my thing is, you say you don't want to lose out because of draft stock, whatever have you. Yes, when you get your rookie bonus, the guy signing in the first round is making more signing bonus, whatever have you, rookie contract, than the guy in the 5th and 6th round. But your money comes in your second contract if you're balling.
Yeah.
So I don't get that bothers me when guys say, no, I don't want to hurt my draft stock. Okay. Well, when you get that draft stock, you get drafted high. You still got to produce. Either you can ball or either you can or you can't. That's why I'm starting to love to see 2nd, 3rd, 4th rounders truly shine 3-4 years down the line. You know what I'm saying, Barber? That's 100%. Me. But we're dinosaurs. We're old school, man. We really are. There's people say I think we are, man.
Yeah, we are. We are.
I do. I think we are.
Yeah. And you know, and I know, you know, you know, as far as the teaching profession, you actually see what goes on in the classroom and in the school. It's the same thing where it's that me
Yes.
first, not the team. You see the exact same thing. So I'm not shocked that that's how you know it's going now, but we see it every day. Every day.
Yeah,
So,
it's interesting how it's transpired, and like you said, we're old. We're old. We were raised completely different. You know, we all were raised by 2-parent families. All were raised by 2-parent families who wanted what was best for us, but wanted us to work hard to get it. A lot of the kids today, you know, there's stuff going on at home. They're not raised by 2-parent families. They're raised by, you know, just a 1-parent, maybe a step-parent sometime. And they're told, you know, take what you can get.
But also, and the crazy part is, your mother did it to me. When we were coming up, if you were acting up in the neighborhood, a neighbor would yell at you, then call the house before you got home. And
hell yeah.
You know what I mean? And literally, your mom did it to me on Chestnut. They don't do that now.
Watson, can you believe my mom would do that?
Man, now, call me by my government name, Michael Mills, whatever is in them, man. But now, let somebody call your son. Your little Johnny's acting up. Oh no, my little Johnny is an angel. No, your little Johnny is bad, super duper bad. You know what I mean? It's just different, fella. It just really is.
Well, what's interesting is we just had parent-teacher conferences at every level in our school district the 2 days before Thanksgiving break, and not one of the parents whose kid doesn't come to school on time or doesn't come to school and get their work done. It was the parents whose kids get the work done, who are held accountable at home. It was their parents that held a conference with me.
Yes,
there were only a few of them. There were only a few of them, but you know what? It helps me to see that kid in a different light too.
Yes, absolutely. I'd imagine.
So that goes back to the point of what we're saying. When you're deciding you want to sit out a playing in a bowl game, I see you in a different light now. I know you're not about the team. I know you're about you. You want your, like they all say now, get your bag. Well, I got your bag right here.
Yeah.
I got your bag. So
it does. It lets us know weeks 1 through 10 or whatever it is, you're a team player. But when it comes down to it, when it's really down to it, you don't care about us, dog. You're all about you. We get that. And it's cool. It's cool, but it is.
Hey, Waddy, speaking of people going to declaring, did you see Caden Prather has declared, a former student of yours and mine?
I did see that.
You did?
I did see that. Congratulations to him. Yep. You know, and hopefully he makes the best of the opportunity that is in front of him.
I will never forget.
You know, hopefully he continues to work hard and you know and makes that the best of it.
I will never forget when Sarkisian came to Northwest and Chris Samuels was one of the assistant coaches, and him and Sark had history together. And Sark said, I want to see what you know about football, young man. And he started drawing up, you know, high level stuff on the board. And he's asking, he said, this is you, son. What are you doing here? How about if they do this? How about if this happens? How about if your quarterback has to do this? And this kid had every answer, Chops, every answer for Sarkisian. And Chris Samuels looks at Sark after the kid's done and leaves. He says, this kid's ready for the league. He's got to develop his body.
Chris Samuels, Washington Red.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he helped coach at my school. Great guy. That dude's a great guy. Great guy. You know, but, you know, that's where this kid is. I agree with you, Kevin. I want nothing but the best for Caden. I really do. He's grown up a lot.
Absolutely.
You know, so, hey, fellas, college overtime versus NFL overtime. What do you think? What are your thoughts about the differences there? Should, after that 8 overtime win that Georgia had over Georgia Tech, and then we see the overtimes in the NFL, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Should the NFL go to that college overtime? Will it make it easier? Should college take away that simplified overtime and make it more difficult for for a team to actually score and win on a field goal?
College has got it right. That was so exciting to see that. And then, like the pressure turns to the other team, and then the pressure turns to the other team. And then you got to make that answer. And it provides the excitement versus the NFL one. Shoot, you get a ball with Patrick Mahomes, he allowed to score 7 on your next game. You walking off, and that's a wrap. Versus the NFL. Now I know the other team at least got a shot. It just creates the excitement. I don't care if it goes. I love football, so don't matter. But I just think the excitement. Now, should they start on the 40? Maybe put it on the 50 for the NFL.
Put it on the opposing.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think?
Man, you know what?
Yeah.
I love college OT because those guys are trying all the time. They're trying. They want that win, fellas. But even when I think about it and start making it for the rest few weeks of the season, start seeing how many times we see a team score. The opposing team has 60 seconds or less, and they'll still drive the field and get in field goal range. And I'm saying that because teams aren't playing defense like they used to. And in the NFL, like they said, they've already got their bag. I don't know if it matters to them. To me, college is definitely more exciting. Fellas, we see DBs do the old Ole Matador sometime when it comes to tackling during games. I don't know, and I'm going to say it flat out. I don't know if it's the heart, the desire, whatever it is. I just don't know if we'll get that energy. I just don't. I love college overtime better, but that's because they just want it more. It just seems like they want it more.
Kevin, do you think that part of the reason? Jay, do you think part of the reason Joey Porter Jr. leads the NFL in penalties and had 5 this past weekend against Cincinnati is because he will come down into the hole and smack the shit out of you as a corner?
Well, I think for part of it is he is long and he does tend to, put his hands out there. I think that's probably a disadvantage of that tall corner. Being, because he does like to reach out, and he has the ability with his long arms to have a little bit of more separation than others. So when the DB when the receiver tends to get away from him a little bit, he'll reach his hand out, but the guy's not as far as he thinks he is, and then he tends to hold, grab, or whatever the case may be. I think some of them also could not be called. I think he gets caught sometimes where the other guy's also tangling with him a little bit. And so it's almost one of those things where at the beginning of the game, you need to kind of go up and talk to that ref a little bit and get in his ear and just let him know. It's like one of those things. But
I thought it was kind of – I was going to say, I thought it was kind of interesting today the way Mike Tomlin approached it in his post-game conversation in his prep for this week's game. And he said, he's got fouls to give. It's what he actually said.
Yeah.
He's not down on the kid. I think he's a top echelon corner. I think he's a top 10 guy personally.
Well, I had read
absolutely.
I had read on Facebook, one of our friends had said Joey Porter Jr. is only on the Steelers because of his name and who his father was. Tell me I'm wrong.
I saw that.
There had to have been 15, 20 people that are like, you're right. So I broke it down was, fellas, he's still only in his second year, this, that, and the third, whatever have you. So, and let's not forget, remember with Joey Porter when he was growing up, his dad was a Steeler. His dad's bringing him to the stadium. Think of who Porter as a cornerback watch growing up, who he emulates his game like. You know what I'm saying? Where they were a little more aggressive. And also, fellas, we know Forbes just got released and signed to a new team. He went 5th. He as in Porter was a 5th cornerback taken. I'll put his stats in the way he's playing against any of the other 5. And here's the thing. He will learn that he can't do these things. He'll learn. He's still, like I said, he's still young. And when he learns proper technique, he'll get better. He'll get better this, that, and the third. But fellas, also, let's not forget, there's no such thing as a shutdown corner anymore.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So the way the game is ramped up for offenses all anyways, and call me a homer if you want, there were a couple of those are blatant pass interferences. But I think a couple of those they called on Porter were ticky-tack, fellas. I think they were ticky-tack and should have been called. You know what I mean? Tardivo, my guy.
That's Dietz, huh? Is that Dietz?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
Dietz.
can't see the picture. Yes. Oh, man, yes. So my thing is I'm cool with Porter. Here's the thing. Let's put it this way. We're gonna keep it a buck. Those penalties, yes, they put us in bad, and it gives a guy 15 yards. I will take those before Pickens' personal foul, dumbass penalty any day of the week. Any day of the week. Because Porter's getting those because he's showing effort. All day, every day, I'll take him. All day, every day.
Yeah, I got to agree with you from that perspective. Pickens is not a guy that they need to let go. But what I saw, and we're going down a rabbit hole with this, and I don't want to do that. But
a minute. Let's each get 15, 20 seconds, and we'll move on.
The only thing that I really loved that I saw of what Pickens did, number one, Rasheen says this all the time. You need that guy with the little, what's he call it, Waddy?
Yes. You got to have a little dog in him.
Little edge. You don't want him going to jail for killing someone, but you want somebody with a little edge on your team. And what I like about what I saw after he got those penalties, I saw Broderick Jones pull him aside and talk to him. Broderick Jones, who everybody in Pittsburgh bitches about his penalties, his holding calls, him whiffing on a sack. Mm-hmm. But you know what I saw from Broderick Jones, 23-year-old number 1 draft pick from last year? I saw leadership.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. I don't know if it was because they know each other. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if it's because they know each other from UGA days. Don't care.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. And I mean that's why he was able to approach him and nobody else did. I don't know. But also, here's my thing. Sit him. But just hear me out. Sit him. Tell Tom we're sitting you. And here's the thing. Even if the offense suffers for a couple series, sit him. Also, if that offense still thrives and does well and the defense holds up, the longer they do well, the longer they can keep the win, the longer he sits. And the reason why, that is the best way to show him we don't need you. We want you, but we don't need you. And real quick, the late Bobby Knight said, the best motivator in sports is ass on the bench. That's the best motivator in sports. Ass, meet, bench. That's it. You can yell at a guy. You can do whatever. Nothing motivates you to get up on that field and off the bench like sitting on it.
I feel like at the end of the day, though,
I would say that was old school. Absolutely. These new dudes, man, they sensitive. They real sensitive.
You know what?
And a dude like that, you gotta be careful because I hear
that all the time.
I would do that in a minute, but I probably wouldn't have a job very long because these dudes don't react to that these days. They're different breed.
And you're right, it's different. But here's what I don't get. And anybody that would give Tomlin flack for sitting him, I'd say, what are we teaching him by letting him act this way and get worse? But you're right. Things have changed. But it's funny to me because we are now, and I got little cousins that say it, you don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke. That's what all the young kids say. Shut the hell up. You guys can't even eat gluten. Seriously, don't talk to me as though you want that smoke. You can't even eat gluten. So, but that's funny because on the one hand, they'll say, seriously, think about it. On the one hand, they say, we want that smoke. We want that smoke. We want that smoke. But then you get sensitive. Like when they say, if you bench a guy, you will destroy his confidence. You've competed every day of your life to get to this spot. And if this sitting you to teach you learn kills your confidence, I appreciate you because this was educational. You are not someone I want in the foxhole with me. I no longer need your services on my. If that's what it takes to break your confidence, fellas, and I hear it all the time. I just don't. We know the saying, nobody's ever been coddled to greatness. But that's all we do in this society nowadays.
You know, I heard that.
I think AB was coddled to greatness, by the way.
Who?
I'm just saying, AB was coddled to greatness. 9 years. Ooh. Tomlin had him 9 years. He had his thumb on him. No, I don't know how he did it. I have no clue, but he was definitely coddled. You can listen to Ryan Clark. He tells you that man was coddled.
Big dog. And they all say that, and I hear that. When he lost everything, let's not forget when AB left the team, they showed it on social media where his players ransacked his own locker. When AB
No, that was LeVar. That was
I'm sorry, I did AB.
Le'Veon.
Le'Veon. When he left, they ransacked his locker. Let's not forget, AB went live on Facebook a couple times. I'm a firm believer in when LeGarrette Blount did his thing and that got out smoking weed, he walked off early. Fellas, there was I know we want to give Tomlin a handshake and a pat on the back. He was. When your boy AB lost his mind, he went ham. If that had truly been going on, everything else got out. There's no way they'd have kept AB under wraps. I refuse to believe that AB was showing his ass and somehow Tomlin was able to keep that under wraps. But even when his star running back left and his own teammates ravaged his locker room, he couldn't keep that under. Let's not forget, a couple times they went live in the locker room on Facebook. Social media was everywhere. And everything that AB did from that team on out went viral. We saw other things go viral. I don't believe Tomlin kept it under wraps. I don't.
But you know what? These guys liked AB. These guys liked AB. I'm not sure what Le'Veon Bell did to those boys. They didn't put up like they liked him. They did not act like they liked him. Number one, by ravishing that locker, but number two, not one guy stuck up for him in the money piece. I don't remember anybody standing up saying, "Yeah, he deserves $15 million a year." Not one guy. I mean, it was what it was. Same with Deontay. Hey, let's talk about this guy. All right, we're down this rabbit hole now, and then we're gonna circle back. Deontay Johnson gets moved from the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. We get Dante Jackson, a corner, okay? Basically the same salary, somewhere in that ballpark, all right? Deontay Johnson goes down to Carolina, 400 yards, 30-something catches, whatever. Gets traded to Baltimore because they decided, even though they were going in a different direction and they were going forward, by the way, the Panthers, they're looking good lately. Maybe not winning every game, but looking much better. They trade him to Baltimore. This guy had 0 targets, 0 catches this past weekend. He was an enigma in the Steeler game. Don't you think they'd have put him on the field and let him prove himself in that Steeler game, fellas? I mean, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers put out there who they need to put out there. Plus, Tomlin even said George got some growing up to do, and I'm sure his ass was in Tomlin's office after that game at the stadium, getting a talking to.
Fellas, and we can say that, but this is not the first time or even the first season we've seen Pickens do this. So I love Tomlin. He is the king of the one-liners. I've said it for years. He is the king of the one-liners, but his guys still cut up. Here's this real quick, though. But it's hard for me to jump on Deontay, and this is the reason why. Because the quarterbacks for the last 2 years were trash. None of our receivers were doing any work, so I understand why he wanted out. When he went to Carolina, that's just a terrible organization. Now, I'm asking the same question about him. Is Mike Williams for us? Why is he not on the field? Why is he not getting targeted?
They're not throwing him the ball. They threw the ball. 10 guys touched the ball on Sunday.
Yes, true.
Two guys didn't. Connor Hayward, and Mike Williams.
Yeah, and my thing was this, because you guys looked at it different because I wasn't really sure, and Russ hadn't started cooking yet, but I wasn't sure why they were saying the Steelers needed a number 2. I thought they were finding what they went, but they traded. They got your boy Williams, but he's not on the field. So I need to hear a little bit what's going on. Dude, it's been 2 weeks. Certainly Johnson is smart enough not to rock the boat in 2 weeks. You're on a better team now. You've got a chance to go to the playoffs.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he is. I think he's worse than AB.
The Steelers do very well. The one thing the Steelers do very well, they know if they let you loose, there's a problem. Every receiver, you think about it. Santonio Holmes, there was a problem. He goes to the Jets, you never hear anything more. When they do that, if I'm an owner, I'm putting up my signals and saying, no way, because when the Steelers let you go, that means there is an issue with you. And now he's at Baltimore. And there's an issue. Think about it. He went to Carolina. He didn't make them better.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though, what? And I love my Steelers, but I love them enough to be honest with them. I love my Steelers, so I love them enough to be honest with them. We say that, but also I look at it, I take it a little bit further. We take a lot of guys that nobody else would have wanted anyway. And I say, and I'm saying that because just like Tomlin's coaching tree, his coaching tree in 18 years he's been there has not been picked too much. He doesn't have any head coaches. So as much as he has coaches and he seems to be 500 or a little over, not winning a playoff game in 8 years, you're doing that with so-so coaches and so-so players. Now, AB was a baller, so he went elsewhere. He was just plumb crazy. I still think that Burfict hit rock and made him
100%. I think he knows it. I think he knows it.
Yeah, your boy Martavius Bryant, he couldn't stop the weed. He was what was that one cat, John? What was the dude from the Browns?
Him and Rashid.
Yeah. Well, oh man, what was your boy from the Browns who had the world at his feet? Couldn't stop smoking. Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon. Yeah.
Yes. You know what I mean? So yes, you're right, because I thought about that too. Because there are a lot of Mike. I know I loved it when Mike Wallace jumped ship to go to Miami, and they got rid of home. I'll never forget it again. We're going down the rabbit hole, but they got rid of Hines Ward to pay Mike Wallace his money. I was so pissed. But what did he do? He went to Miami and didn't do anything. So you're absolutely right. Players leave Pittsburgh and don't do anything. I totally get that. But some of these guys, we weren't high on them in talent when they were in Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh's grinder. We're grinder. We get them the best we can. But I just want to know, what has he done? Because, fellas, please, we got to believe he's not an idiot that he's 2 weeks. You're going to rock the boat in 2 weeks. Certainly he's not that dumb. Come on.
I think it goes back to where we were talking about before. It's the I or the we. And I got a feeling he's got a lot of more I than he has we. I really do.
2 weeks. What? Think about this. Think about when you was a kid, right? And you cut up in school. For the next 2-3 weeks, maybe 2-3 months, you was an 8. You was good. You know what I mean?
Oh,
you
yeah.
just nobody wanted you. I just, man, I'd like to believe he's smart enough to have his act together for 2-3 weeks. But real fellas, does anybody know why Williams isn't getting targeted? You traded for him, and they thought he was the guy that was going to lift. You know what I'm saying?
I think they're.
Look out this week.
That's what I was going to say, Kevin.
What's his name is in the concussion protocol. Look for Williams this week to come up big.
Okay.
Look for it this week.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. I'm hoping too, but I got a feeling this is the week right here.
I agree, Kevin. I do. I think they can expose that secondary of Cleveland. I think they're going to go after it. I really personally, and I want to go backwards after this, but I personally think they're going to blow Cleveland right out the gym. I do. I think they are so angry about what happened the last time.
Yes.
I think you will not see mercy. I really do. I don't think this is one of those teams that we've seen.
Agree.
I don't think this is a traditional Steeler team where they're just going to grind it out this time with Cleveland. I think they're going to like they came after Cincinnati. Hey, look, if George Pickens' head wasn't pulled down in the middle of a play, that shit would have been ugly there.
How is that not pass interference?
That's part of that official shit. Jeez. Those dudes don't get it. Hey, fellas, I want to circle back to college real quick. Fired Ryan Day, but he's still there, right? Ryan Day, still there. Narduzzi started 7-0. He's 7-4, 7-5.
5. Isn't he 7-5?
I think it's 7-5, yeah. And then Deboer, Kalen Deboer. They brought him into Alabama because he did so well up in Washington. That man just lost 3 games in Alabama. That's more than Saban loses in like 4 years.
Yeah.
What in the world is going on with college football? Why do they not want to cut these guys loose?
Man, you think, okay, how you pronounce Deboer, whatever his name is? Deboer. Okay. I know this is going to sound crazy. It's his first year. He doesn't even have a chance to put in his system.
That's not crazy. That makes sense.
So I get that. Now, the reason why I still don't fire Day, you still got a chance to win a national championship. Because to me, what would you rather have, your chip or say we beat Michigan? That's the thing. Now, again, he hasn't done
Michigan for those guys.
You know what I mean? Oh man, I know it's always beat beat that team up there. But if he can still, he wanted, like I said, he wanted to do beginning of the year. He said he had 3 goals: beat Michigan, win Big Ten, win national championship. 2 of those 3 are already gone. Now, 1 out of 3 is normally pretty shitty, but if he can make up for it, but I don't see them firing him. But fellas, this was a rough one. You had the better squad. Do you realize your boy Moore in Michigan didn't even have a contract? He's coaching without a contract.
No, you said
you had all that money in NIL and you still lost. But again, rivalries, it's hard, fellas. It's hard. Man, you got to throw a lot of that stuff out the window when it comes to rivalries.
So why does Narduzzi get to breathe life? He was 3-9 last year at Pitt after he lost Kenny Pickett.
Because
he was
they were predicted at the bottom. They were predicted to have even this many wins this year. So he actually overachieved, to be honest with you.
Because they don't. Mark, think about it. Okay,
they overachieved. They really did.
They don't expect. No disrespect, fellas. We don't expect anything from Pitt football. Like you just said, they overachieved. So if they're expecting 5 wins and you get 7, you're the savior. You're the best thing since sliced bread. Now, again, that's not going to fly at a blue blood. That's not going to fly at, some of the better programs. But when you're not expecting much, like you said, they don't even have their own facility. It's just they don't even have their own facility. So, Ms. McGrath. So, having said that, they don't put the money, they don't put the emphasis on the football team. Not like when we were there. Come on, man. When Thor said it was different. You Green, it was Marino. It was a show. You don't get that anymore.
Hey, shout out to Miss Linda, National Streaming Sports Programming, Roku, the whole 9 yards. I hope Mac is doing well. Give him more blessings, and thanks for joining us tonight. We love seeing you. All right, fellas. So
I want to go back to that. Can I go back to that Michigan thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I just want to here's my reason. Those first 2 things you said were, beat Michigan, because that's number 1 in Ohio book. It's beat Michigan every year. They haven't done that in 4 years.
100%.
Win the Big Ten. Well, you can't do that if you can't beat Michigan. So you haven't done that in 4 years.
Right.
And Michigan, that team was not very good.
No.
And you couldn't beat them. You have probably the most talented team that you've had in 4 years, and you couldn't beat them. That's a problem. Then, for me, what happened after the game,
I know,
that's even more of an issue.
Yep.
Your team could not even handle it. The fact that, yes, you lost. Guess what? You did. Hit to the locker room and get mad in there. Or, how about this? Get mad on the field. That's where you should have got mad at. And then when all of that was going down, you came back out of the locker room because you ran your ass in the locker room. You come back out on the field, and you had to sit there and you said, what's going on? What do you mean what's going on? No. I'll let you finish out the season, but you've lost the team. Your number 1 linebacker has already entered the portal for next year. That's not good. That tells me something's wrong on the inside.
But guys are going to the portal if they're offered more money. There's already Georgia's starter. There's a guy from Georgia that's already entered the portal. But fellas, also let's not forget.
But this is the Ohio State University. This is supposed to be the bigger of the big as far as programs. You're not supposed to leave Ohio State.
You're absolutely right. But let's not forget, as you said, times are different. These guys don't have ties that this, that, and the other to universities. They're going to the highest bidder. Guys have no. They have no ties, no honor. I hate to say honor, but they don't have the nostalgia to universities anymore. That's why guys are jumping ship all over the place. Now, when you talk about you don't have control of the team, no, you guys, they can't yell at players anymore. Hell, I'm not even a Kiffin fan, but remember the one guy that tried to put him on blast because he said he won't take my mental health But luckily, when he let it out, Kiffin was like, dude, you went 32 weeks or whatever without showing up. I can't remember the guy's name, but Kiffin on the offseason just went over some things because the guy didn't show up, then got mad and thought that Kiffin should be put on blast because he got rid of him. Fellas, you can't, like you said, why you can't yell at guys anymore. You can't control guys anymore. Come on, man. Imagine just if a coach yelled and grabbed a player's face mask right now. Are you kidding me? No, then I'm looking at guys like you, teachers and coaches. I have no idea how you guys would do it these days. I really don't.
That's why we don't.
That's why we don't.
That's why we don't. Look, Chops, I got in a whole lot of trouble for trying to motivate kids by pushing them. Let's go block somebody, and I pushed them. I got in a hell of a lot of trouble for that.
Yes,
I had to walk away from coaching. That was in 2009. That was 2009.
You
pushed
the kid wearing pads.
His coaching job, I would have been done coaching forever.
Yeah,
but
he
pushed
the kid wearing pads.
I mean, it's ridiculous the way parents want you to treat their kid, yet they want you to put their kid in college. I mean, you know what? You get your own kid in college if you're going to treat a coach like some shit. They want you to coach up their kid, but yet they go home, their kid goes home, and all they do is talk shit on the coaches. How is that possible?
Older fellas, and I don't mean to get off on a tangent, but we talked about it at Eberflus and what happened in Chicago. Yeah, he should have been fired, but I think that dude got done dirty. I think he got done dirty, and it's, to me, a reflection of the entire society. And I dig deeper than a lot of people do in the way I look at it, but I think the way that went down, it's just the society we live in, man. Everybody, today's society is, I admit, I
should have been fired.
Yeah. Hold on. You're absolutely right. But let's not forget, John Fox, 2 years, and he's gone. Matt Nagy, 2 years, 3 years, he's gone. Eberflus, 2 years, he's gone. So now this is the same organization. So you're telling me you're bringing in these coaches and you're giving supposedly your quarterbacks with Trubisky, with Justin Fields, now Caleb Williams, you're giving them 2 coaches and 2 coordinators within 2 seasons. Wonder why it doesn't work. And let's not forget, real talk, fellas, they're going to probably hopefully talk about it again. But if they don't, go back and watch that last play. Look it up on the internet, those last 34 seconds. You had multiple veterans on the field on that offense, and not one of them showed any sign of urgency trying to hurry up. So even if the coach is screwing up, maybe you realize you can't call a timeout, but the time is winding down, and none of you guys had a fire under your ass. The wide receivers didn't get back. The O-linemen weren't lined up. Do you remember when we killed Claypool, when they were playing the Vikings and he had a first down and he just sat the ball down? They killed him. And even his own players were like, dude, and they were grabbing him, trying to give the ball to the ref. That's the difference between the Steelers organization and Chicago's organizations. Not even the veterans tried to hurry up. That entire organization is a shit show. They used Eberflus as the scapegoat. This is the 3rd coach they've used as a scapegoat, 5th or 6th quarterback, and it's still a shit organization.
I'm going to move on to something else, but the only thing I want to say about that, and then if Watson has one final comment, that's fine. But you got a kid you drafted number 1 overall. He's supposed to come in and be your savior, your franchise quarterback. I listen to all these people tell me what great character this kid has, how he's a generational talent. Well, hey, buddy, he's not a generational talent if he doesn't know what it says on the clock with 25 seconds left in a game where he needs to complete 1 or 2 passes, still have 5 seconds.
And crazy part,
that's not a generational talent, boys.
And that's not they act like that's the first time he's ever played football. He knows what the situation is. He shouldn't. And you do realize so far we've had 3 or 4 generational talents that they say every year. You realize that we've had a generational talent come out every year for like last 3-4 years.
The people I've heard tell me that kid's a generational talent, I don't even know if they understand football. They talk like they do, but I don't know if they understand football. It takes a lot to be a generational talent. Mahomes is a generational talent, fellas.
Man.
Mahomes.
Man.
Okay? He knows how to win or lose. He don't have a great team around him right now. They're playing good defense. He don't have a great team. He's a generational talent.
They led the league in drops last year, and he still won the Super Bowl. Think about that.
This kid had Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift. He had Cole Kmet at tight end. Come on, man. That you trying to tell me? Dude was trying to tell me, oh, his offensive line sucks. Hey, Duck Dodgers in the 25th century and some of those other dudes played for the Steelers, got in the freaking playoffs with however many wins they did behind that offensive line they had like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Shit. Don't tell me about offensive line.
Yeah.
All right, I'm calmed down now. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm just going to add to that. And I'm going to say, first of all, they should have got rid of Lovie Smith, who finished 10-6. By the way, that's the last time that they made it was with Lovie Smith. They shouldn't have got rid of him. Let's just start there first.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go to the piece of with the quarterback and the rookie. First of all, the moment's going on. Remember, he has the headsets. The coach should be in his headsets. Timeout, timeout. Only the quarterback, head coach can call timeout. One of those two have to make the call. If he's waiting, for the head coach to say something, if it doesn't happen, that head coach should have been running down that thing, going like this: timeout, timeout, timeout. Help the rookie out, because that's the job of the head coach. Help him out. If he doesn't know what to do, if he freezes, you got to protect that guy. That's supposed to be a franchise.
What I get you, but also in the same aspect, think about all the do and the questions and the mental aspects they do in the draft. And they say they do this because we're about to invest millions in you. So we want to know you're not this, you're not that, the Wonderlic test, whatever have you. So
I don't go with that.
I get they lose, but it bothers me because that's not the first time you've ever played football. I understand if it's a defense you've never seen. I get that. I understand if you're having problems playing the calls because they're using verbiage that you've never heard before. But clock management, you have been doing that since you have been a starter in high school. That's what I don't get.
Yeah, because he didn't play in his headset. What is that coach telling him in his headset? Because he has access to him. What is he being told? Because if you're on the sideline and I'm a coach, I'm yelling in the headset, call timeout, call timeout.
The kid looked clueless. The kid looked clueless.
Yeah.
My question:
waiting on the coach.
How about this, though? How about this, Watson? How about if that coach didn't want to trade Fields? How about if that coach didn't want to draft Caleb Williams? How about if that coach didn't want all that because he had a relationship with Fields and saw things in Fields that if he put people around him, he might have been successful? How about all that?
Because of the history with the other. No, seriously. With the history of the other coaches we mentioned, like you said, should have never got rid of Lovie Smith, whatever have you. They let Mark. Let's not forget Mark Trestman. He only went for 2 years, so that goes even back further. So, but you're right. But here's the thing, and I hear what you're saying. My mindset is, you live where you live now. If I take you to California, you don't forget how to drive. You still know the basic premise how to drive. You still know the basic premise of football. You still know you have a stopwatch, and you are the first pick overall. If you'd have called timeout, they're not cutting you. They're not cutting you. Hell, they would be loving you in the building, and everybody in TV would have said that's how smart this kid is. The fact that he didn't and he didn't know what it was, there was no emergency from anyone. There was no sense of urgency. The entire organization.
But guess what? I still have somebody sitting right beside me telling me when to stop. Oh no! Look out that person in front of you.
Hold on. You're absolutely right. But those are moving. Hold on. But they don't have to take. They don't have to tell you. They don't have to. That. Hold on. On that aspect, yes. But that's equivalent to somebody saying you need to pick up this blocker. But they don't need to tell you where the gas pedal and the brake are because that always stays the same, just like the stop clock. Just like that always stays the same. Bro.
You should be tuned in.
Yeah.
You should be tuned in.
It's a terrible organization. Yeah, Riley, as your boy said, Riley was.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Hey, listen, we talked about this a couple shows ago, Ellen. We talked about how Lincoln Riley has had some great quarterbacks, and none of them, other than what Baker's doing now, none of them have really done shit in the NFL. How's he developed these guys?
He did have Hurst, though, didn't he? He had Hurst. Didn't Lincoln have Hurst? Or was that? No, that was Saban. My bad.
But Hurst started out of Alabama.
That was he went to Oklahoma. My bad. No, who had Hurst in Oklahoma?
He won the
he went to Alabama, then he went to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Fellas,
we're getting close in time. We got about 6 minutes left. Let's run through these things real quick because we kind of got sidetracked. Hey, Locksley goes up. He walks up to James Franklin. You all know I'm not a big Franklin fan, okay? Yeah. But he tells him, what the hell are you doing running the score up on me at the end of the game, throwing the ball? And Franklin's like, what? What are you saying? Okay? Franklin goes into his press conference and he says, I'm playing my 3s and 4s. I'm getting my guys ready for the future. What do you want me to do? Tell him to just hand the ball off, run 5 yards?
You think those third and fourth teamers' parents who get to watch their son play, you think they want to watch them just kneel the ball? Those kids practice just as hard every day. They want shine.
When we're seeing putting our group on the text group saying, what? Why can't Maryland win? Well, think about what I just said. Think about what Locksley did on the field. That's why Maryland can't win. That's his mentality. Well, don't beat the shit out of us, even with your third and fourth stringers. F you, buddy. I'm gonna blow you out of the water if I have my 5th and 6th stringers in there. You know, like, don't tell me that. Don't ever tell me that. I've never had anybody take their foot off the gas pedal for me when I coach at the high school level. Why would you expect it to happen at other levels when they're getting in their younger guys? You don't see it at the pro level. Stop me. No. Stop me.
I will say, at the high school level, you got to shut it down at the high school level. You should not be passing. If you're up 63 or whatever the case may be, you should not be passing at the high school level. That's a totally different ballgame because not every school has the depth. At the college level, I get what Franklin is saying. I'm trying to get my next guys ready, and he has that right to get the next guys ready. And if you still have your ones on the field, you doggone right I'm going to keep going. So he needs to make that adjustment if he didn't want that to happen. So high school level, no, you got to shut down. College, no, you keep going, man. You got to keep playing ball.
At the high school level, though, Kevin, I can remember we played Poolsville one year, Poolsville High School, Maryland. We played 1 year, and Will got really mad at me. Will got mad at both of us. We put in Mikey. Mikey came to me when he was going in. He said, please, coach, can I throw one pass? He was a senior, never threw a pass, got in the game, last 5-7 minutes, whatever it was, and I had him throw a hitch. And Will got mad at us. And I understood why Will was mad, but I also explained to Will exactly what was going on there. But I agree with you. Don't run it up in high school, but also those kids want to play too.
Yeah.
A lot of those kids play practice squad all week. They get minimal reps, and they want to go out and play and show their worth. So I don't buy into what Locksley did there. I don't want anybody to question. At least don't question me about why Maryland's not a successful program. They're not a Big Ten program, first of all. They're more of an ACC program than anything. They'd be very successful in the ACC. But he has a hell of a time getting kids from here. The kid that we talked about that he pulled from here, that kid should have been an off-the-chain receiver at one of the big schools, okay? He had guys like Sarkeesian and those guys coming in to scout him. He had 40 offers across the country. He ends up at West Virginia 1 year, finishes his career at Maryland. Neither of them truly put him on the map. So now he's got to go out and prove he should be at the next level, in my opinion. But, hey, fellas, 2 minutes left. Here we go. Ravens, how legit are they? San Francisco, are they cooked now? Because they're hurting at running back. They even lost the backup kid that did really well before CMC came in. And what do you guys think of Arizona? Let's go. Minute each. Go ahead.
I don't even need a minute. Arizona, I've been saying for weeks, not Arizona, the Ravens. I told you weeks and weeks ago, I was not worried about them as much as I was because that defense had been giving it up late in the game. Now your boy Tucker got the yips. It's beautiful. I'm loving it. Not worried about the Ravens. I know they can do it, but they can't do it week after week after week. They can give you a good game here, but then it becomes them Ravens. Arizona, they're solid, man. But that NFC West, it's wide open for anybody, regardless. So, it is what it is. And I'm not really. So what do we have? The Ravens I talked about, and the 49ers. It doesn't matter, man. They're like you said. You can stick a fork in and they're done. It's over. they're done regardless. And I told you I'm glad because I hated the way your boy did dirty when he what was his name? Wilkes. He used Wilkes as scapegoat. So I'm glad Shanahan's getting his. I'm out. I'm done.
Waddy?
San Fran is cooked. Done. Yeah, too many injuries. Just way too many. Arizona, like you said before, they play in the West. I mean, who's coming out of there? One team, and they're all inconsistent. And I think Arizona fits that puzzle. And as far as the Ravens, I think they'll be fine. As long as you got Lamar Jackson back there and you got the Big Henry back there, and that defense blitzes the way they blitz, they will always be fine. Now, can what's his name solve his kicking problems? I'm not quite sure if he's going to get it this year. My true belief is I think dude is hurt, just like Boswell was when he was missing all those kicks that year. For us, I think he's hurt. I really do.
Interesting comment. I'm trying to get a sports psychologist to come on and talk with us about what goes on in those guys' heads when they start falling apart like that at the professional level. I watched it happen with professional hockey goalie Marc-Andre Fleury. I'm seeing it happen with questionably the best kicker all time in the NFL, and Justin Tucker. You know, I want to know what goes on in that brain. What do those sports psychologists pull out of those guys to try and get them back on track? You know, what do they pull out of them?
Yeah.
Hey, fellas, my last comment is the hit that what's his name? Aziz.
Yeah,
that was vicious and brutal, and it was perfect. Like,
it was. But here's my thing. I was watching it, and again, it's easier when you break everything down. I hate to say a late slide, and he got his suspension. He's not going to fight it. It is what it is. But man, they're both going 100 miles an hour, and I understand you have to fight, and that's what Ingram did. You got to protect your quarterback. I'm not calling Elzier, or how you pronounce it, Elziz, whatever. I'm not calling him a dirty player. That's the first one he's ever gotten. He's not a dirty player in the league. 4, 5, 6 years, whatever it is. It was bang, bang. You got to set him out, and it hurts. And I hope, your boy Lawrence comes back, but it was vicious. It was damn sure vicious.
Fellas, I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight. It was a good show. You can see underneath our names where you can find us at. Waddy is on Facebook. He's on the X. Chops is on TikTok. You can find him on Instagram, Facebook. And you can find the OSP just about anywhere, fellas. But ladies and gentlemen, okay, or whatever you want to be addressed by, don't forget, we usually have Noobs and T-Sizz and Sheen working with us, but ironically, Noobs and T-Sizz are at a girls flag football team banquet tonight, so I hope they had a great time, and Sheen had to take care of his daughter at her soccer banquet, so it's been a lot of fun. We haven't had any craziness, but I'll tell you what, we had some good stuff going on here. Hey, check us out. Check out our website at podpage.com, Original Sports Podcast with Mark Maradei. Whole lot of stuff going on with that. We are in the process of upgrading it, getting more photos on there, talking with a lot of people. We have some new networks that have reached out to us, so you may be able to find us in some other locations soon. You can find us on Facebook, X, and Snapchat at OSP with MM, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at Original Sports Podcast. You can link into our link tree, which is in our show notes, and get all that stuff. We are on Twitch as well, to tell you the truth. A big shout out to our networks that we are on. Let's Talk Sports, Sideline Sports, ESEN, that's Elite Sports and Entertainment Network, Manning Media, and Peak One Sports. Don't forget to check us out on Roku. If you can't catch us on your computer, we're on from 7 to 8 on the NESSP network. And you can check out their website, because we're part of that as well, at nessp.info. Feel free to let us know if you have any comments, questions, suggestions about our show or guest by emailing us at originalsportspodcast@gmail.com. Shout out to Steve Medley and Charlie Hodgson for doing voice intro and music. Join us next Tuesday to Experience EO. Hopefully we have a full crew on here and we can make it happen for you again like we like to. Take care. Until next week. Peace. Fellas, I got to tell you something.